$15,500 with funding to come from automatic bonding pursuant to section 7.16 of the city charter.
Second. Second is made, motion made second, any discussion? We've done this not too long ago for a couple of the other schools, so just trying to stay compliant. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 2 is the relocation of early voting site.
Move per the request of the registrar of voters to relocate the early voting site for all future primaries, referendums, and elections from Shelton Farmers Market at 100 Canal Street to the Shelton Community Center at 41 Church Street, effective for August 11th, 2026 primary. Further, the city of Shelton opts to not have an additional early voting location.
Second. Motion is made and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Takes us to item number 3 is funding for the handicap door at the community center.
Move to add to the capital improvement plan the purchase and installation of a handicap door at the community center in the amount of not to exceed $5,669.00, with funding to come from LOSA.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded, any discussion? This is part of the early voting location, so, and I think it just goes hand in hand with one another. All those in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4 is July statutory refunds.
Move that the report of the tax collector relative to the refund of taxes for the total amount of $3,395.75 be approved, and that the finance director be directed to make payments in accordance with the certified list received from the tax collector, with funds to come from statutory refunds account number 001-000-311.13.00.
Second. Motion is made and seconded, just as a point of order, in the future, we won't read the account numbers.
Good.
As long as we identify the title.
Good.
All those in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5 is the funding for the Veterans and First Responder Center in Trumbull. With us today, we have a group of people who are involved in that project. Ray Baldwin has been the point person, I guess, for the last 4 or 5 years that I'm aware of. Ray has had a knee operation, so if someone would like to come to the podium and just give the board a breakdown of what's involved here, and then we can have a.
Okay, so just for the record, Ray, went in the night this morning to have a knee replacement. He, has been so frustrated with his project over the last 6 years, he banged the wall one time too many. So he's getting his knee replaced this morning. So first of all, I thank you on behalf of the veterans for inviting us here to talk about the new Veteran Center, and for the consideration you would give to supporting it as we go forward. The VFW, as you know, represents 5 towns now. We represent Shelton, Monroe, Trumbull, Easton, and Reading. So we come together as one group to serve us better. And if I may take a moment just to recognize some of the Shelton board members who lead our post these days, because we've had great success. For the last 4 years, we've achieved the highest honor possible for the VFW, which is All-American status. There are over 6,000 posts across the world. I don't think 10% have done that 4 years in a row. We're proud of what we've accomplished. The commander for those 4 years is a Shelton resident, and he's right here with us, Graham Bissett. So John, thank you. Behind Graham is a former Shelton commander who everybody in this building knows. I walked around with him this morning. 95-year-old Korean War veteran, Fred Wills. Fred, thank you, sir.
What's his name again?
Fred Wills. If you didn't know, everybody else in the building did, just ask him. Next to him is someone who still works in this building, Merle Chase, who was the quartermaster for our post. 2 years ago was the quartermaster.
That's trouble.
He was the quartermaster for the state. That was trouble. He was quartermaster for the whole state, Mr. Mayor. And he's a Vietnam Navy veteran. And behind him in that blue shirt is Joe DeSanzio, who's a Shelton resident, who's our adjutant, who was a naval aviator in Vietnam and a naval aviator veteran. And next to him is John DiGiacomo, who's our Shelton rep, for the post, and he served in the Air Force in Vietnam. So I thank them for being here to support it. So we're well represented on the board. So just quickly, this center was designed not to be a veteran center the way your grandfathers knew it, but to serve. And we believe there's 10,000 veterans, local veterans in the area who we want to serve. We've already signed up with Hartford Healthcare and the Veterans Administration to provide a wide array of services to the veterans. And we want to make sure we reach them. Hartford Healthcare actually came to our last meeting, gave us a contribution, gave us an AED, and is going to support it as we go forward. As I said earlier, with Ray, we've had starts and stops over the last 6 years. We started, COVID came, and we were out for 2 years. By the time we started back up, prices had doubled. And we had to go back at it. Every time we raised more funds, the prices went up even more. We finally got to the point where we had to do something called value engineering. I wasn't involved in the construction business, but I learned that value engineering means they engineer by taking some value out of the building. That's called value engineering. So they take things out. And so there's less in the building. We finally raised enough funds to go forward, to go do it. Town of Trumbull gave us 900,000 in total to get us over the top. And with the value engineering, we took out $436,000 worth of value into the building. What we have done since then under Ray's leadership is to go forward and try to put back that value engineering. And we've put back about 250,000 of it already. So we thank you for that. Now, we're asking, come here today to ask for a $75,000 donation. What would we do with that? We would put two things back in. I can show you a picture. One of the value engineering things is we took the glass out of the top of this building. And
This whole curtain wall right
took
here.
it all out. $50,000 would put that glass back in. We would use any funds you would give us to put that glass back in. And the second part is there was a deck off of the kitchen where the veterans could have a grill and put a grill and do things tied into the gas line. That we took out. 75,000 would support both those, and we would appreciate that. What does it mean for Shelton? I will tell you, upon entrance to the vestibule of this building, when you walk in, there's gonna be two walls. One wall says corporate, business, and community support. The city of Shelton will be noted on that wall for its donation. And that's the second highest level donation box that there is. You'll be on that wall as you walk in that building. Every Shelton resident will see that. Second, every place that somebody has put a donation, we're gonna put a plaque up in that area of the building to say this curtain wall donated by the city of Shelton made possible. And on the deck, it'll say this deck made possible by the city of Shelton by its donation. In addition to that, whether you do anything or not, we committed to veterans. And one of the things we did in the last year was to go around to the towns that we represent and say, who are the people from your town who paid the ultimate price? There were 72 residents we identified from Shelton who went to war and paid the ultimate price. We built a wall of honor onto this building. As you walk past the vestibule, you come to a wall of honor. On that wall of honor is going to be a spot that says remembering those and honoring who paid the ultimate price for freedom. And it'll be by town. And it'll be by war. The 72 residents from Shelton will be on that wall by town and by war they served in. So that'll be something you come and see. And if any of you have someone in the family who you want to honor on the walls because they served, these plaques are available for $125. It goes on the wall and all the funds and it'll be on the wall forever. So I missed the thing small, I didn't do that. So the last thing is we would invite you for any support you give us to come to our next meeting in September and present this to the full veterans meeting. And we'd be honored to have you there and present it and then do a press release to say, we thank you for the support you gave us. And that's my pitch. And I'll open it to any questions or.
No, I just want to make a couple of comments, because I've been pretty close with Ray Baldwin for probably over 20 years and gotten to appreciate his dedication towards the veterans issues. And, you know, he kept me abreast of this project in Trumbull. And I gotta tell you that I said to him one day, I said, you know, let's call the governor up. And so we did. And, you know, it bore some fruit for us. The governor pitched in a few more bucks. The state was a big contributor. And I say that because I don't want people to think that it's just, you know, certain entities like the town of Trumbull, the city of Shelton, that are kicking in here. You know, the state and the federal government was at the table for the funding on this, and I think it's important to have a shared interest in projects like this, because for me, there are no boundaries for veterans. They represent the United States of America. They're all over this great country, have been for so many years. And look at, they're the reason that we enjoy the freedoms that we do. And it's unfortunate that some people don't appreciate it today in this country, but that's not us. So this is just a way for us to show our appreciation, be part of something that is contributory to the country and to the greater good. I will tell you that our former president of the board, John Ingles, was very much in favor of this. He and I discussed it 6-8 months ago. And you know, I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood that, because as you know, John was in the forefront of, you know, these veterans issues on our behalf. So anybody else have any comments they'd like to make?
Yeah, I would. As a veteran, Ray Baldwin was kind enough to reach out to me, and I saw the future location. It's actually very beautiful. And as the mayor said, we'll be getting some federal funding, and I understand some of that is tied into opening up to first responders for the VFW as well,
Yes.
which is a kind of a new way to look at things. And I think the 75,000 for the 30% of Sheltonites that do belong is very manageable, and I think it should go. Thank you for coming and presenting.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, and I'd like to thank you for your service to our country, and to Chris also, as a veteran. We could not have a country like this without people like you. Thank you for your sacrifice, and for those that did make it back from different places in the world. But we're very much appreciate what you did, and this is a small token that we can do for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other comments, all those in favor? Are there any opposed?
The motion.
Yeah, I think we opened up on the
No,
motion.
you
No, we
didn't.
didn't.
You went right to them.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So, go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
Thought I missed something there.
Put the motion on. Yeah, everybody's so quick to correct me all the time, and everybody was silent now.
Okay. Move to appropriate an amount of $75,000 for the construction of the new Veterans and First Responders Center located at 1 Veterans Circle in Trumbull to service veterans and first responders from Shelton and Trumbull, Monroe, Easton, and Reading areas, with funding to come from general fund surplus.
Second. Motion is made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, item number 6 is Hidden Meadow Estates on the open space conveyance. We're not gonna take up this item today because there's still a few unfinished items that I need to put together. And, you know, I'm gonna be meeting with them next week. This item will be on the August board meeting. Okay, item number 7 is 784 River Road property purchase and sale.
Move pursuant to the favorable 8-24 referral from Planning and Zoning Commission to authorize the purchase of 6.49 acres of state-owned property as seen on the attached assessor's map in the amount of $350,000 with funding to come from general fund surplus. Whereas the Board of Aldermen determines that the sale of the property to be within the city's best interest and to exclude such parcel from the sale to the city property process as prescribed by section 2-18 of the city's ordinances. Further move pursuant to a favorable 8-24 referral from Planning and Zoning Commission to authorize the sale of the same 6.49 acres of property to the owner of Sports Center of Connecticut or the entity TBD in the amount of $565,000. General fund surplus will be reimbursed upon the sale. Further authorize Mark A. Loretti and Corporation Counsel to execute any and all documents to effectuate the same.
Second. Motion is made in second. I make the assumption that, everybody is familiar with this piece of property that we're talking about. There's a lot of history here. This has discussion and debate has waged on for about 7-8 years. Crazy as the process is, we had to get an act of the legislature to affect this sale. Could not come to terms with the entity that was running the landfill, the transit, and the piece of property that's subject to this motion today. Because they thought that the value was very different than what it really is. But look, at the end of the day, there is a going business there. It has been for over 25 years, substantial taxpayer. And it would just be foolish to think that someone would come in and buy a 5.5 acre piece of property that's a long, narrow strip of River Road to the river. And with a landfill on one side and a business on the other. So the only practical solution is that this property goes to the sports center. As most of you know, that this area has been developed. It continues to be developed, especially as you move north up the Housatonic River. It's all part of the master plan for this part of our development on the River Road portion of Shell. You know, there's a lot more that I can get into, but I don't think that I will at this point unless you have specific questions. So the city is just acting as the agent for service here, for lack of a better description, to affect the sale and get this property in the hands of an owner that will be productive for the public. And if they're productive for themselves, that's okay too. That's the American way. Anybody have any questions? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Brandon, did I get everything covered? Did I leave anything out?
You're all set.
Okay. All right, item number 8 is the Eversource agreement for the gas main at Constitution Boulevard extension.
Move to appropriate the agreement between the city of Shell and Eversource Energy to provide a natural gas main at the extension of Constitution Boulevard westward from Bridgeport Avenue to serve future tenants and property owners. Further, appropriate the amount of $143,828 for the project costs related to the installation, with funding to come from general fund surplus to be later reimbursed from future users. Further, authorize Mark A. Loretti and Corporation Counsel to execute any and all documents to execute the same. Or effectuate the same.
Second. Motion is made and seconded. Discussion.
This is, now this line is, how long is this line? It's just a plug there.
No, this is the gas main that goes from Bridgeport Avenue straight up Constitution. That is gonna service all those properties that we are under contract for, including Bigelow T. So, in an effort to move this project along. And I say move it along because it has been painful for the last few years to deal with state DOT and the utilities. Our goal is to upfront the money, get the gas main put in, extend the water, get the road paved this year. And get in the ground for phase 2, so that we can get people to the properties that we're under contract for.
If
Okay.
this is for the gas, you said water, what about electricity? Is that already gonna be laid in or is
It's
that?
already in motion.
Okay, great. So we'll get it all.
Yeah, the utilities, everybody has a different set of rules, but
Yeah,
listen, I don't think that, we should be paying for the infrastructure costs for utilities. When they had the ability to send out monthly bills to multiple tenants that never even existed before. So they should foot the bill for the infrastructure and they could collect their monthly fees as designed.
That's the first time I'm hearing about the charger for a main. Usually they, a project of this size, they'll put the main in. Because it was a certain.
Well, that's true, but again, because people can't get to their property, the property owners are reluctant to sign agreements with the utilities until they know that they're gonna get there, and you really can't blame them. And look at this whole thing has been a process in 3/4. I don't wanna say a process and a half, it's been a process in 3/4, and it's consumed Fran, myself, Mike Canhills, and Kelly. Consumed us.
Yeah.
So,
I just have a question about the reimbursement. Will any inflation be calculated into a reimbursement, or it doesn't do that way?
I don't know, we've never done it this way before, I'm just happy to get our $143,000 back. So,
And this is just for phase one.
this is for phase one, but the extension will continue into phase two.
Okay.
I think that, once asphalt is done on phase one, everybody's gonna have a different flavor for the end game. So, sometimes you gotta bring them to water. That's what we're doing. All right? Any other questions?
Well played, Your Honor.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, there's no other items on the agenda, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.